Teachers, who's the worst parent you've ever encountered and how did you deal with them? When I was teaching 3rd grade, I had a boy named Jacob who went around picking on his classmates. I felt horrible for him because the fact he bullied people wasn't even his fault. He was living with his old-fashioned granddad, who had used Jacob's parents' death as a teaching tool, teaching Jacob that crying wouldn't bring his parents back and that real men were tough and didn't show weakness. I remember the incident that started everything. A kid in the yard had just dislocated his shoulder and was crying, and when Jacob saw it, he ran over to the kid. But instead of helping, he started calling the boy a girl for crying and telling him that his granddad said he had to toughening up the sissies like you. I remember being horrified, and I immediately called Frank, Jacob's granddad, to come in and explain why he was encouraging bullying. Frank arrived at our conference completely defensive. He told me, back in my day, men were men. He dismissed my concerns, saying Jacob was learning to be strong like his father would have wanted. Frank stated he didn't trust brainwashed liberal teachers pushing a feminine agenda and emphasized he trusted real experience and proven science, not feelings. After that meeting, Frank became even more rigid at home. He started telling Jacob I was trying to feminize him and increased his anti-emotion rhetoric. Jacob's behavior got worse, as he now started actively hitting boys who cried about missing parents or pets. When that started happening, I decided to escalate things. I compiled a ton of research on emotional suppression in boys and the harm it does. I called Frank in for another meeting, to which he reluctantly showed up, and added I presented Frank with scientific studies and even shared something personal. My nephew had attempted sewer slide because his parents taught him to bottle everything up. I told him this was the path he was leading Jacob down. I told him, if you trust science like you said you do, then start teaching him what actually being a man is. Of course, this didn't work. Frank